Good morning, guys. How's it going? It's Thursday. Thought we'd go ahead and do a little dessert. So we are going to do kind of some baking today. And it always amazes me how you get well, in this case, it could have been completely no-bake, but we're going to do a no-bake pie today. But we're going to do some baking with it because we're going to make the crust. Now, if we were buying a store-bought crust, we wouldn't have to do this. But, all saying, we're going to do a no-bake pistachio pie. Now this pie is just like a pistachio whip, and similar to a pistachio whip, which is always awesome, or a fluff, depending on, I guess it depends on where you live as to what it's called. But this has got marshmallows in it, it's got pineapple, it's got the pistachio pudding, whipped topping, it's just everything. It's really, it can be as much or as little as you want it to be. Depending on how you would make your whip, normally, I guess. But we're gonna do it in pie form today. In this particular one, we're gonna put some maraschino cherries on top. It's gonna be really good, I think. So, hands down. If you're new to my channel and this is your first video, welcome. Hope you get something out of this. Check out some of my other ones. If you're returning or one of our many new subscribers, welcome back and thank you. That means the world to me. It really does. Hands down. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Comments, always welcomed. All I ask is you being polite. It's okay to disagree with me or anybody else in the comments for that matter. Just think before you type. That's all we ever ask. Hands down. I think that's it. I will give you all your measurements in tablespoons, teaspoons, cups, along with grams and milliliters. That way, no matter where you're at, who you are, we can all play along together, right? So that being said, why don't we head on over here to the counter and we will get started making this pie. All right, hold on for me just 1 second. All right, so we're down here at the counter. First things we'll need to make our crust with is going to be a bowl and a pie pan. It's 9-inch, shallow, I guess. Inch deep, or inch deep pie pan. You'll need a 9-inch pie pan anyway, and a bowl to make crust in. So in here I've got the equivalent of 12 graham crackers. It's 186 grams worth of graham cracker if you're buying the crumbed graham cracker. And to this we're going to add 1 tablespoon, 15 grams of granulated sugar. And then we are going to add 6 tablespoons, 84 grams of melted butter. And I'm using unsalted butter, but I mean, if you're using salted, that's fine, by all means. But you always use unsalted, or if you want, throw a little salt in there. I don't when it comes to my graham cracker crust, just because I feel like the graham crackers, with them being a processed food, have the sugar in it already. So we're really just adding a little more sweetness and some butter. So now we're going to go ahead and get this mixed up. That way, okay, so we got our butter mixed in with our pie crust, now our graham crackers. Now what we're looking for is I should be able to squeeze this together, and there shouldn't be any butter coming out between my fingers, but it should hold together like such. That's what we're looking for as far as do I have enough butter. And in this case, really, as loose as this is, I would almost dare maybe add another tablespoon, but we're going to run with it. All the same, I've made this crust a bazillion times this way. Now you can do all of this in a food processor. I did my graham crackers in a food processor, but I did not. But you could do those in a freezer baggie with a mallet, and just whack them. Think of somebody that's really made you mad that day and just crush them up. But I prefer to do those in a food processor, and then I mix everything else by hand to make sure I got it all coated. So now we can go ahead and get this into our pie pan, just like such, and we'll get it pressed in. And if I didn't mention it, we should be preheating our oven to 350 degrees right now. So we'll go ahead and get that out, and we're just going to press this in to the pie pan. And I take it up to the side, and what I do is I use these 2 fingers. I don't have a flat pie press thingy, so I just take these 2 fingers to run it up the side with, and then I take my other hand, put it on the top of the edge here, so that way I get a nice edge, and I press down as firmly as I can on it. All right, so we've got our pie crust formed, right? So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put her in the oven on the center rack, right there, and we'll go ahead and set our timer for. I'm gonna set mine for 10 minutes, but it is 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, because it's gonna depend on your oven. So what you're looking for, you want to keep an eye on it, and it should be like a nice golden brown. You don't want it, because if you're not careful, it will burn. But it'll turn a nicer, darker golden brown, right? So when that comes out and I come back, we will take a quick look at it, and then we'll start making our filling. All right, I'll see you here in just 1 second. All right, so I just took the pie crust out of the oven a few minutes ago, and we are well on our way to being cool. We are down to warm now at any rate. I would not recommend holding your pie pan warm without gloves, but there we are, all the same. And I think it looks good. You see what I mean by, got a nice little dark golden to it, but not burnt. So that's what you're looking for there. And in my oven's case, it was 10 minutes, but yours may only be 8. Like I said, a lot of things you learn as you go, but you always want to start checking a little earlier, even if you know your oven times, because your oven may change over with age and time. So we got that done, and we are letting that cool completely. So now we'll go ahead and make our filling. In our container, I already have one block, 226 grams, 8 ounces of full fat cream cheese, right? We're gonna take that and we are gonna add a 3.4 ounce, 96 gram package of pistachio pudding. I'm using Jello brand, but that's just because there was no other pistachio pudding mix from any other manufacturer at the grocery store. But I mean, if you have one you use, feel free to. And the more I think about this, that using pudding as a binder, it's not the first time I've done it, but it really opens up possibilities for different flavors and textures of pies, hands down, or cakes for that matter. But we want to take our cream cheese, room temperature cream cheese, and our mix, and we're going to go ahead and beat these together until the cream cheese is light and fluffy. Now start out on low, so that way you don't get a face full of pudding powder. Okay, so we have got that mixed together, or beaten together, and I'll show you. Light and fluffy is going to be kind of a lucrative word to this, even though that's what it said in the handwritten card that we have, and I'll show you why here in a second. But after each thing, you want to go ahead and scrape down if necessary. But this way, we know we get all the pudding off the bottom, the pudding mix off the bottom. But the reason why I say, I mean, in case you can't see, I'm struggling here. That looks light and fluffy, yes, but it is very gelatinous, for lack of a better word. It is, because it's mixed with the cream cheese. Cream cheese is thick, dense, and not real easy to fluff, and then you add the pudding in there, which is gelatin based, and it's wanting to do its thing. So I guess you could say light, fluffy, and gelatinous. Next thing we are going to put in here is what started out as a 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple at 567 grams, and I wringed all the juice out of it. I still have the juice in case I want to add some to it, but I don't think I'm going to. Talking to Chris, she said that it might make it not stable enough, and it will not hold together well as a pie. So I'm going to leave it out, and we'll see how it goes from there. If nothing else, I'll drink the pineapple juice. But by the time it was all wringing out, it was only, by the time I got all the moisture out of it, it was 427 grams. I'm sorry, 224 grams. So I lost half of my, which should say something. I just paid, well, for a can of pineapples was like $2.50, but half of that was juice. Crazy, right? Makes you wonder. So we're gonna go ahead and get this in there, just like such, and we'll go ahead and get this mixed in with our, we're gonna get that beat in with our cream cheese and pudding mix. Okay, so we've got our pineapple mixed in, which really, even just a little bit of moisture that was left in the pineapple really helped loosen this up. So we'll go ahead and give it another quick scrape down here real quick, won't take long. But before we add in our next, we've only got literally 2 ingredients left to put in, which is kind of cool, really. And now I'm using a stand mixer. You don't have to use a stand mixer by any stretch. You can use a hand mixer. You could probably even use a spoon, because I'm sure, well, yeah, I know you could, as a matter of fact. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to, but yeah, you don't have to use a stand mixer. So it was right there. My hand mixer's put up, so I didn't feel like digging it out. But anyhow, next thing we're gonna add to this is 1 cup, 60 grams? Yep, 1 cup, 60 grams of mini marshmallows, right? And we're just gonna go ahead and dump those in there. And we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna run this on using a stand mixer. Now you could just stir these in with a spoon, but I have a stirrer function on my KitchenAid, so why not use it? So I'm gonna go ahead and get those stirred in. Won't take but about a few seconds. All right, so we got that taken care of. Now the last thing we need to do is add the last ingredient. So let's go ahead and I'm actually gonna take this paddle attachment off because we're gonna fold in the last ingredient, which is whipped topping. You know, like a Cool Whip or, you know, whatever your favorite whip topping is. I personally buy store brand. Very rarely do I buy whip topping anymore, and you don't have to with this. If you want to make 8 ounces of homemade whip topping, it's 1 cup of whipped cream whipped into stiff peaks is all it is. And we could have just as easily done that, but it kind of takes away from the quick and the easy to do process of this dish. I've noticed a lot of dishes that I found in these cards, yeah, well, and even in general through the mid 50s, late 50s on through, a lot of processed pre-made stuff goes into them, but we want to make sure we get that. We don't have anything that's not mixed up in there. Sorry. Tell you, here this late, my brain has just been fried. So I've got an 8-ounce tub of whipped topping, right? Half pound, 227 grams. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I just put a little bit in here to start with. Yeah, we'll do it in 2 sections because it's still dense. I mean, if you look, that's pretty dense. So we're going to just go ahead and fold this first little bit in, and by folding, you take it around and push through, around and through, just like that, through the center. And then once we get that initial startup done, we will go ahead and put the rest in there, and then that way we can get it into our pie crust. All right, so we have got everything's folded in, looking good, right? So now all we have to do is go ahead and get our pie filling into the pie crust. All right, you got our pie filling in there. I can feel it starting to set up pretty nice. This almost looks like it makes enough for 2 pies, but that's all right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a pie with a ton of filling in it. Yeah, or you could just as easily leave some of this off, put it in a container and eat it with some graham crackers, or serve it on the side as an actual whip, I would think. Yeah, because it's essentially done. I mean, other than putting it in the fridge to chill and thicken up, but there we are. And now you could take a spatula and clean this off and put it on the pie, but instead I'm going to leave it on there and put it in this pie. But this part right here, I'm going to go ahead and put in the fridge, and we're going to let this refrigerate for about 4 hours. You can even go as far as overnight. The longer it sits, obviously, the thicker it's going to get, and the more pie consistency it'll be. But you want it to go minimum 2 to 4 hours at any rate. So, like I said, best practice is always overnight with anything. Now, once it firms up, in about 30 minutes, I will go ahead and put plastic wrap over it, but I'm going to leave it like this for now until it firms up some, and then or some more, and then I'll put my plastic wrap and let it sit for about another 3 hours or so. But anyway, when I come back, we are about to top this off with a couple things I want to top it off with and try a piece. All right, see you in a second. Okay, so we have got our pie has been refrigerated now for a handful of hours. Went and visited my grandson while this chilled, and but we were nice and got a good firm pie filling. So the only thing we have left to do is I've got some candied cherries, some maraschino cherries, and I want to put those on here. And I'm just gonna put them on in a random but yet neat pattern, I guess, real quick. Alright, I got our maraschino cherries on there, and now I've got some roughly chopped pistachio that I'll throw on here on top of it just to give it that level of crunch. I don't think we'll need the pistachio flavor, so to speak. I mean, we got a whole container of pudding in there to give us that, right? But it never hurts to have a little crunch, I think. But then, hey, what do I know? What do I know? I just work here. Alright, and there we are. I think that looks just fantastic, right? I think. Alright, we'll go ahead and get a piece cut and give her a try. What do you say? I think that sounds amazing myself. Alright, we got her cut out, and it actually turned out pretty decent for a first cut. If you are new to my channel, I am horrible at first pieces. Just horrible. Although this one turned out pretty alright, if I do say so myself. I mean, and there's our pie. Looking wonderful as always, I think. Alright, so now all we have left to do is give it a try, right? I'm excited. I like pistachio whip. I think this is going to be crazy good, and oddly enough, I don't know what it's going to taste like. That is so good. It's refreshing. It's it's just got that maraschino cherry was there, but all the same, the pineapple was there, the pistachio is there. And with that graham cracker crust, oh yeah. I like it. Oh, you guys have got to make this. There is truly so much I've been missing out on that I didn't even realize I was missing out on. Man, that is good. Give this a try. You will like it. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. You don't even have to make the crust. You can buy a store-bought graham cracker crust. That in itself is crazy, but that would be good with a chocolate crust, I bet. I don't know, I'll have to try it. But yeah, let me know if you do give this a try, or if you do something similar already. Maybe I'm just behind the game that much, and you guys have known about this for a minute. I don't know, but let me know if you do down in the comments below. This would be a good conversation. hands down. You know, or you can let me know over on Facebook. 'Cause I'll have pictures posted of this on Facebook at some point, I'm sure. But wow, that is, yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, sorry. I really just want to dive right in and finish eating that. But I will hold off till the end of the video. Next week, no idea. None at all. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, amazing, unhealthy, but yet tasty for dinner. I don't know what we're going to do for dessert, but I do have a canning video that I got to finish getting edited, and then it'll be out probably this weekend. And it's beans. I know I've been talking about beans a whole lot, but I'm really bugged by the whole disodium, you know, EDNTA or whatever. Yeah, that's in some beans and mayonnaise and makeup. Weird, but anyhow. Till next week for dinner. I love you. I love you very much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them, that you love them very much. They may need to hear it. It's going to make them smile. It's going to make you smile just to tell them that. You're both going to feel wonderful. And you make them some of this pistachio cream pie. Holy cow, they're going to grin ear from ear. Probably, you know, get a cup of coffee with that, or maybe a glass of milk, depending on who you are and where you're at. And, you know, hours of conversation over that bad boy. Hours. And you got enough, you know. You can invite the neighbors over. You know, somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, rekindle an old friendship. Maybe give the guy walking down the street with his dog, or the family of 3, a piece. Mailman. Let him know he's been doing a good job. He's out there working hard in the cold. He would enjoy a piece of this too, I bet. It'd make you talk at the town in a positive way, and you'd make lots of friends. So, till next week for dinner, I love you, and I will see you then. All right? See you later. Bye-bye.